families, as we continue with our unit, Lights, Camera, Action, we discover Saul's great basket escape this week. Just like last week, we want you to be as involved as you can by taping your child participating in the movie. So get your cameras ready. Let's go. Quiet on the set. It's movie making time. During Lights, Camera, Action, the preschoolers will give the performance of a lifetime as they act out scenes from Bible stories about the early church. When shooting wraps up, they'll have discovered that the church is our supporting cast, but Jesus is the real star. Today's true Bible story is about some helpers who helped a man escape from some mean people. If you're ready to hear that story, wiggle your fingers high in the air. Are you ready to make our Bible movie? Great! I'll tell you what to do, and then when I say Lights, Camera, Action, you do it. In the Bible, in the book of Acts, there was a man named Saul. At first, Saul didn't like people who followed Jesus. If he found a Christian, he would arrest them and take them to jail. When I say action, I want you to make an angry face like Saul and then point and say, "You're under arrest." Lights, camera, action. Nice work. But Saul didn't stay mean. One day, Jesus appeared to Saul in a bright light. After that, Saul loved and followed Jesus. Now, instead of arresting Christians, Saul became a Christian. He traveled all over town telling everyone that Jesus is the Son of God. When I say action, I want you to march in place like you're Saul and say, "Jesus is the Son of God. Jesus is the Son of God." Lights, camera, action. That was wonderful. When the people heard what Saul was saying, they were amazed. They said to each other, "Isn't that Saul? Didn't he used to arrest people for following Jesus? But now he is following Jesus." They were so surprised. They couldn't believe what was happening. When I say action, I want you to make a surprised face and say, "I can't believe it." Ready? Lights, camera, action. Great job. But not everyone believed that Jesus was the Son of God, and they didn't like Saul saying that he was, so they came up with a terrible plan to stop him. The mean people decided to catch Saul and hurt him so he couldn't talk about Jesus anymore. Day and night, the mean people watched the city gates, waiting for Saul to walk through so they could catch him. When I say action, I want you to look through your pretend binoculars and say, "We're gonna find you and catch you, Saul." Lights, camera, action. But Saul found out about the mean people's plan. He knew he had to escape. But how? He couldn't just leave through the city gate. The mean people would find him and catch him. Fortunately, Saul had some helpers who loved and followed Jesus too. Together they came up with a plan. The helpers tied a rope to a basket. Then Saul got into the basket and the helpers lowered him over the city wall. When Saul reached the ground, he ran away and the mean people never caught him. When I say action, I want you to pretend to lower the basket and say, "Run away, Saul, run away." Lights, camera, action. In our story for today, how did Saul escape from the mean people? That's right, Saul had helpers who lowered him over the wall in a basket. Thanks to the helpers, Saul was able to escape and tell even more people about Jesus. Jesus gave Saul helpers and gives us helpers too. I wonder who the helpers are that Jesus gives us. I know, it's the church. You see, the church isn't just a building. It's all of the people in the building who love and follow Jesus. Jesus gave you a church full of people to help you, but that's not all. Jesus wants you to help the people in our church too. You can pray for the people in your church. You can play with the people in your church, and you can share with the people in your church. And that's because your church helps you and you help your church. Hey, that's our big idea for the day. I think we should tell it to our parents and friends. Maybe we should practice first. Who should we tell? I know, Topher the gopher. Let's see if we can find him. Uh-oh. It looks like Topher's sleeping. I think we should wake him up. When he wakes up, we can all tell him that my church helps me and I help my church. On the count of 3, let's all yell, Topher the gopher, wake up, wake up. 1, 2, 3. Topher the gopher, wake up, wake up.
Hey, what's the big idea?
My church helps me and I help my church.
Oh, that is a big idea. Thanks for telling me. Goodbye.
It's true. In fact, that's what our memory verse from the Bible tells us. Let me teach it to you. Carry one another's heavy loads. If you do, you will fulfill the law of Christ. Galatians 6:2. Now it's time to practice the verse a few times with your family. Let's say a prayer together and thank Jesus for giving us a church full of helpers. Dear Jesus, I love my church. Thank you for bringing me helpers and help me to be a helper to others as well. Amen.